Good morning, folks. I thought I'd do one more video build update on the Tamiya P-38 Lightning, although there's no guarantee this will be the penultimate build video. We shall see. This stuff can get complex as it gets near the end. Well, I got the landing gear on. The wheels and tires are aftermarket Edward. Fit was pretty good, a little bit fiddly. Well, actually, the landing gear itself was just absolutely excellent. And I did get the wheels and tires on. Putting in the landing gear bay doors is just a thing of immense pleasure. The engineering, you got to try it. I mean, if you're into aircraft and you haven't built this kit, even if you don't like World War II airplanes, even if you don't like the Lightning, although I don't know how you wouldn't, uh, you got to get this kit, if for nothing else, to get to the point where you add the landing gear bay doors. Just amazing engineering, and they just pop right in. No glue or cement required. In fact, other pieces are like that. Okay, got the props on. The one here on the right side uh, went on really easily in terms of just popping right on and spinning. The left one got stuck. I'm not sure why. We had a little accident en route. Surgery was required. It looks nice now, but let's just say it doesn't spin anymore. That honestly was my only Tamiya to Tamiya fit issue that I've experienced in this entire build. Only pieces that are left. I've talked about the superchargers, how somehow along the way, weeks ago, I lost this piece. I must have tossed it in terms of wherever it was on the sprue that didn't get cut out, and it ended up in the garbage in a frenzy of cleaning. So I have not assembled the superchargers, and I haven't added the pitot tube. And the only remaining are these clear parts, these light lenses here that go on the underside. Those need to go on, which would be about almost the last thing I do. In terms of the superchargers, plan A, I contacted Sprue Brothers, who was very nice, got back to me right away and said, no, they don't stock replacement parts, and suggested I contact Tamiya USA, which I was already in the process of doing. Took me a couple days to get through by phone to Tamiya USA, to a real person as opposed to a voicemail. And the fellow was very helpful, said they've got the replacement parts, no charge, took down my name and address and said he would mail them to me. Now, I didn't get a confirmation of that by email, but they may be on the way. My other plan is I had ordered aftermarket superchargers, but these are for the J model, the Richard Bong Marge Lightning, which I also have. And sure enough, they don't fit. They are not one for one. They are modified, different. They will not fit into these slots. But of course, Edward makes resin superchargers that would be a one-piece replacement and drop right in there. So I've ordered those too. So one way or the other, the superchargers will arrive, either, maybe both of them, the replacement parts to construct this, but if the Edward replacements fit nicely, I'll be using those. So what do I do in the meantime? Well, I've got weathering to do, and I've had these weathering, what do I want to call them now? Powders, chalks, whatever, from Tamiya, different colors, for years. Never tried them. I've got them in orange rust, gunmetal, silver, burnt blue, burnt red, oil stain. Yeah, I think I'm going to experiment with some of these weathering sticks or powders on my mule and see if I can do something to jazz up and add some authenticity to the finish here of the plane. Before I do that, I think what I need to do is get going on the decals. Now, the large decals, there aren't that many, but there's a huge sheet here. Why? Well, there must be 85, 90 miniature, tiny, tiny stencils. Honestly, that's the sort of thing that drives me crazy. Uh, a lot of folks note that Tamiya decals are thick, are quite thick. I've never really experienced a problem in my memory. Again, though, I don't ever remember putting on a lot of stencils on any plane. So if they are thick and they're that tiny, this could be really interesting, since adding tiny fiddly decals that I can barely see, or more accurately stencils, is not something that's one of my favorite activities. It's right down there with masking, but you got to do what you got to do. So I think probably in terms of the order of things, especially since the superchargers aren't here, it's time to turn this from a satin coat, put on some gloss varnish, and start doing decals, after which I'll seal them in, get the remaining few parts on, do some weathering. Yeah, in other words, another month's worth of work in terms of elapsed time. Probably just a couple hours in terms of bench time. But there we go. And again, yeah, if you're into World War II aircraft and you haven't purchased this kit, go out and get it now and build it quickly, just so you can get to the joy of adding those landing gear bay doors. Yeah, I can't say enough about them. I'd love to demonstrate it, what it's like to, because I could just pop them out and pop them in, but I don't have a tripod for the camera, so that just would not work. You'll just have to take my word for it. Okay, rambled on enough now. Time to get some warm water, well, actually put some varnish down and start tackling these stencils. Thanks for watching.